So guys, we got in again. Returning customers, so that's always good. And you can see we've got the brake caliper, off it. So got the brake caliper off, and we're going to do the pads and discs. And you know we like the apec stuff, full spec, full stock, good quality. We really like it. So you can see here we've already taken the big nut off. We've taken the calipers off already to check that they wind back, and they do. Right, so we can service these calipers. So what you need for this type of caliper is a brake pad wind back tool, which I've got snap-on kit. It's got lots of different attachments in there. So lots of different attachments, and they do all different types of calipers really, so you never know what one you're going to need, so it's always handy to have the full kit. So, and we've already ugged the big nut off of here, so 32, not going to do it when I'm filming, it's really easy. So big air gun, rattle gun, ugga gun, whatever you want to call it. Mac Tool one, it's really an Ingalls and Ran that's been rebranded. So I've had that for about 10 years, it's very longer, served me really well. So, and the other tools you're going to need on this is a big 60 millimetre torque bit, so a male torque bit, I would call that. So in behind here, I want to show you them. There's two big horrible bolts that the Frenchies decided they were going to put them in there. I have no idea why they did. So you can see them. Camera, the lights went off. Damn. So right, we'll get the torch. So there's the pads and discs there. So apec, full spec, full stock, quality you can trust every time, so they're good, I do like them. So torch, so we'll get this nice torch and I'll show you what I mean. So rather than just a nice, I don't know, headed bolt, 17mm, 19mm, I've put these lovely torque bits, and you can see them, the big massive ones, and they're all rusted. And if you look at the state of the discs, the state of them, so they're well worn. I mean, if you take the attitude adjuster here and you take all the rust off them, you can see they are quite thin and they're well pitted, so they don't belong to they're knackered. And the pads and disc, as I expected, this side was binding when I inspected this side, so that's why we're taking the calipers off. But you can see there, look at the pads, so that one is worn down at an angle. Slides are free. Oh no, don't rubbish. Top one, oh no, it's moving, but it's not the best. So we'll take them off and clean them. But so that one you can just see the fill though. There's still some left, but this one it's all munched up. Same with the pad and the disc on this side. It's not the best, to be honest. So, and these discs they come with the bearings in them. So you can see there, they're quite thin. You know, it looks quite thick till you chop all that rust off it. So quite thin for me. But I'll compare them, just as a comparison to the other ones, once we get them off. But, so we'll crack on, see if we can get these big, that's, I think GoPro, it's no happy. So we'll try and get these off, these big bolts. So, in here, I've already cleaned these out a bit, and I recommend a big part of this. And I recommend going with hands, guys, to feel what they're doing, and they're actually not too bad, to be honest. That's quite good. I'm quite pleased with that. That's not too bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, that really isn't it? So I'll use this big nice section here. Like I said, I've already checked this caliper, so I know it can be wound back, so we can service it basically, we can reuse that caliper. I knew that I was worried about the other side, but that was the first side I checked. I was worried about the other side, guys, so I basically checked it because there's no point in pricing a job up for pads and discs and then phoning the guy back up and saying, by the way, he needs a caliper now, so he's just going to think that guy's an idiot. I'm not using that mechanic again, so I kind of checked it first. And I mean, we could have priced it up as a worst case scenario. You're going to need two calipers and pads and discs, but for all the time it takes, I mean, yeah, I could see the condition of the discs without taking the wheels off them. So you can see they're a bit crusted up as well. A wee bit of Loctite left. The the factory, so we'll give them a good old clean up. Oh, so, well, you're not stuck on there, so. But no, that was a good explanation of gravity right there, wasn't it? There you go, there's gravity for you guys. How's it getting there? So that's one side off. We will butter on here. Oh, there you go, look at that, that's nice and come off, that's good. Sometimes they can be a bit of a fight. This one, so it's went to that position. And just need a good, there you go. So, and you can see in the back, that's the big wheel bearing. That's your ABS pickup ring for your speed sensors. Sorry, a wee bit stuck there, you can actually just see the lines. See where the wee bit's stuck? You can actually see those wee teeth in there. So if you see those little teeth, there's the torch again. So we'll see if you can see them. So there's little lines in there. And then this little sensor here picks them up. I don't know why they do this, the French. It's like a kind of tin plate that's kind of holding that. That's going to be rotted out eventually, so, and I have come across that before with other ones. So, and you can see the brake pads. Jeez. Right, so I can't move them with my hands, so they're not moving freely. I can move them, but barely. So if you can't move them, then how's it going to work? You press the brake. So you'll get these new ones fitted. Get them out. Oh, and we'll take shims off, take these off, raise them. So we'll take the pins, the two caliper slides, take them out, grease them all up, clean all of this up. What I always recommend is you can use these, you can use a file, just an engineering file. It's got a file head on the side of it as well. I use my Makita drill with loads of wire brushes, deburring tools. Deburring tools, this one mainly. And the calipers, so this is the caliper here. So it's got the piston that moves in and out with the fluid. Press the brake pedal, piston moves in and out, just like the front ones. But it's also got this pulling ratchet kind of caliper in here. So you pull there's like a bolt, you pull the handbrake inside, pulls the cable, pulls on this lever, and then that comes out, and it's basically like a bolt that turns, so it locks it in place, locks the pad and disc together, and that's how your handbrake works. So I've already done it, guys, been underneath the boots, lifted them up off of the piston, just to make sure it's not stuck, because what I do see quite a lot is cars coming in and they do need calipers, and it's basically, oh remember this is the wrong one, so basically they don't bother and they just rip all the boot, just fire new pads and discs on, and then it's back to you, or back to somebody else for another set of pads and discs, and this time calipers. But here's the other one, so you get two, you get a left hand thread and you get a right hand thread in that snap-on kit, and there's the tool that I used for just prying the boot back. Just simply got underneath it, lifted it up, made sure we could turn it, made sure that would then turn without destroying the boot. Because the boot's keeping all the crap out, to be honest with you. So that's keeping all the crap out. We don't want fluid getting into the seal and into the piston, getting it all pitted and rendering it useless. So basically we want to keep that boot as intact as possible. If it is damaged, you probably could replace it, but just change the caliper. Basically, it's probably gets to the stage where it's not serviceable anymore if you don't do anything about it. So you can see what happens here. This kind of tightens up. I'll try and turn that so you can see it. So, let's see where we're at. So, we'll go closer. So, if you can see that, just about. This piston, we're going to try and turn it. It's going to bother so far. So the calipers should be okay condition. And we're not twisting all the boot. There we are. So that's going back. Just take your time. You don't want to damage that boot. That's pretty much it nearly there. Some of them don't fully come to a stop, some of them you can just keep turning them. Some of them now you don't need this tool, some of them you can just push them back. Oh, so there we go. I started grabbing that bit. So there you go, and that's fine. So we're not going to turn that anymore. I'm going to take that as being fully back. It did start pinching that bit there, you seen it? So that one's wound in, you can see the boot, still intact, it's not all torn. You can see that boot in there, perfect, no problems. We'll get all this spindle cleaned up, and once we get the new disc set, we'll compare it to that old disc. So here's the caliper, was not done yet. I have checked it, I know it does turn, so you can see what I mean. The boot's extended out, so we'll wind this one back, same as we did that one. So we'll get all that cleaned up. So we'll get these new apec pads and discs out here. Let's see. Love an unboxing video, didn't they, on the YouTube? So here you go, guys. Unboxing. Kinda can't give it. You can't really give. You don't need to be a detective to work out what's in there. So hopefully these are the right ones, don't normally have any issues. So get these opened. Come on, it's fighting me. Why is it always right fighting me? So we will check these. Hopefully we can see. So there you go, caution before removing. You can see why I like the apec stuff, that's all coated. See the edge of the disc, black. All the bits, the brakes aren't touching, the wheels aren't touching. Well, even that wee hub there, see it? That wee hub is painted as well. So that's ideal, absolutely ideal, and that's why I like apec stuff. So that's got your bearing in there, they've put that cap on it to protect that bit that we were talking about. So we'll see, it might not look drastically different, guys, but this is in very poor condition anyway, so they do want changing. So try and find a bit that's there's a bit there that kind of chipped all the rust off it. And there's probably more you could go again. See, there's that face came off the front, the back, the front of it. This isn't. Normally we put a micrometer on to measure a disc, but this is just for show. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to work. It certainly looks thicker anyway. I mean, it certainly just looks thicker, doesn't it? Ah, it's much thicker, isn't it? So we'll get all these fitted on, get them cleaned up with a bit clean up. And our apec bottle. So we'll get this other side done now. We'll get this other side, the caliper wound back anyway. We'll take the disc off and the carrier off, and we'll get all that cleaned up. We'll get the wind back tool on that one as well. We'll get that stripped off as well, because this side is the bad side. So again, we'll go left. Where's it been? There it's up there. Let's see. So we'll get this in. Big 60 torque in here again. That's big 60 torque. See it? I don't know why they do these things. I really don't. So just be careful be gentle. Well, don't be gentle. You can't be gentle with these, to be honest with you, but big bolts. But be careful. You've got the tool in all the way. You can get and chip away at it with a screwdriver. If it's really built up with rust in there, you really want that tool, that top bit in there, as far in to that cavity as you can that they've created to get it out, to get the tool in. So make sure it's in as deep as it can go, and you shouldn't have any issues if it's got a good bite yet. There is times where they're just rotting away, these kind of bolts to nothing. I've seen myself having to weld nuts onto them. This one, the top one here, it is fighting me a wee bit, and I think that's just a lot of tight for you probably, hopefully. I'm going to bet these are the original discs. I bet they are, because garages don't like changing them, because you can't make money on them because they're so expensive. So they like just the pads. It's easier for them. It's easier. Don't need to touch these daft bolts. Just do the pads on it. That'll be fine. It comes back the next year. It's need discs and pads. Discs are knackered. They're warped. They've got too thin. So see, there you go. How that jumped out there. Try and hold it in. This one is fighting me. So we're going to continue with this. This one. It's not too bad. It is fighting me, but it's not worrying me. It is just probably a lot tight. Now with these kind of bolts, just recommend a big 1/2 inch ratchet like this, because I can chew that off settings, a world of pain, whereas that didn't take that long. Don't need to be a big snap-on one, it could be a big Halfords or anything. So no, you can see, so some ring has went in there, so we'll run the tap through there. I think we should be able to save the bolt. We'll get a bit of Loctite. You can see the original Loctite, so we'll clean that up. Should be okay. We'll run a tap through it. Bottom one's fine. So something's happened up there, rust or whatever. Rust or something maybe got into that. That one's coming out very easy. Very easy that one is. So I can't do that just now. This one's coming out just from my hand. So top one, I'll have a look at it when we get it off. We'll measure the thread diameter, the bolt diameter, sorry, and the thread pitch, and we'll see if we can run a tap through it. We put it back in, we'll clean that bolt up as well. We'll clean that bolt up and we'll put it in a bit of Loctite, and should be okay. There's looking at it again, guys. So that Isaac Newton at work. Right, so that one, there you go, you can see it's perfect. A wee bit of Loctite on it compared to what's happened to the threads at the end of it. So hopefully, because it is just the end, you can see that kind of the third thread down. Hopefully we can fix that, and it'll take the tight, it'll take the right torque. We'll know if it doesn't tighten up with that big snap-on ratchet, and if it doesn't go, if it just keeps turning, then we'll just need to get a new carrier, and if we can't re-tap it, but we will be able to fix that. I'm confident the bolt will be okay. So see if we can get that lined up. Just showing you how much of this swollen up, and again, shouldn't need to hammer it to get them out. Dusty, eh? So there's one, see the thickness, and there's the other one which is worn away at an angle. So there's the top one, and there's the bottom one. So that's not good, guys. That's really, that probably just came off there. You can see there's rust on the backing, so that probably just come off, and you'd be into the metal. You'd have heard it by that point, but so you can see there's a big nut on this one. And just no bother. Again, your ABS rings, your wheel bearings. So give it a lot of clean up. Give it all a clean up. have a look at that brake carrier. And see. Let's get rid of any of the crap that's in there. Just clean the threads up before we put it all back together. We'll wind back that as well in a minute. But we're going to look at this brake carrier, see what's happened here. So, yeah, that top one's all munched up. So, we'll see if we can, you see it's all munched up in there. So it is, so compared to the bottom one. So let's see if we can run a tap through that. So, we'll wind this caliper back first, and then we'll see what we can do with that. So, just same as the other side, guys. And again, I've already been and unstuck the boot. I've already been in and done that, so I don't need to do that now. Because I did that already previously, so don't be saying, oh, you never done the boot. Not perfection. Yeah. Good tool, this one. Had it for a long time. It's like Trigger's broom. It's had about 30 new pins. Nah, I'm not kidding, it's had one pin. I don't put, I've seen people, you know, if you need to put a big spanner on it and just get a new caliper, mate. No, rather than doing that, and I'm going the wrong way, so this one goes the other way. I hope. I hope, well, this side has issues, but I don't think so. Right, I'm just doing it the wrong way. So we'll try this one. Put that in. Bish bash bosh. Put that back on. Come on, stop fighting me. So. That's my bad. I did that. Why did I do that to myself? There you go. That's better. Right, so what have we got? Right. Yeah, I had the right tool the first time, it was just a bit stuck. Swapsy again. Bish bash bosh. This is magnetised in there, that sticks on it. Right, that's better. This one is a little tighter. A little tighter, this one. That is gone. So the only concern now is this bolt. And there we go. That's that. Right. So we're not going to get your tool back out. Sometimes, there you go. Sometimes you need the grips. Get it. Oops, nearly fallen over it. So we don't need this anymore, we can put it away. Where the hell does this one go? In there, possibly. Nope. So this one goes there, that one goes there. And this is a little kit you need for, you know, doing it, basically. So that's the big wind back kit. Blue point, so snap on. There's our apec ball there. So we're going to see what we can do with this bolt. So we know, guys, that's all munched up. No, that doesn't look good. My wee boy says, I'm not happy. That's not happy. So, there's the bolt. You can see, I think what's happened. The rot's getting into the end of it. And just as it's coming, it's just chewed itself all up. So you can't get into the back of them to clean them. They only go to the end, they don't stick out anything. So that's the right die. Tap and die set. So that's the tap, which you can see is the right thread. So it's a 125 thread, 1.25 thread pitch, 1.25 thread pitch. It's an M12. It's an M12 bolt. The 125. So that's what that is. So you can see we're going to need to put this up into the vise and retap that hole anyway, and try and clean that out. Now what I might try and do is, we can see this one is screwing in no bother, so we'll give that a clean out anyway, so that the bolt goes in. We will put Loctite in, so, and that's the way we want it to go in. We want to be able to just screw that in. That's right to the end. I'm not going to push it any further. Don't break these in here. Jeez, break these in here and they're a world of pain. There's nothing to drill that. Nothing. So, a nice cup of tea there. So we'll need to retap this hole here. So we'll put that onto the vise and we'll show you it once it's done. Hopefully it comes out okay. So we'll go up and retap that nut, and we'll retap that hole, put it back with Loctite, and I'm hoping that the threads on the end, they'll all work it in and out. Hopefully the threads on, because we can see the threads on the end are perfect. So we're hoping with Loctite, once it gets into its final position, you know, it's solid. So, but we won't take any risks. If we feel it's not going to do, we'll send that to an engineer or something, or we'll just get a replacement, because it's got to take the right torque. If it doesn't take the right torque, last thing you want is this coming off. You imagine that coming off and getting into your alloy wheel. It's bad news. Bad news, guys. So we'll report back once we've done that. So it's already better. And then again with the deburring tool, let's get a good clean up. Some of the nooks and crannies. Getting rid of the bottle here. We're not grinding it down, we're just filing off the rust particles that's built up through the years. And cleaning it everything. So it just builds up. I should have shown you this, but I like this wee kid on claw hammer to just chip the wee bits of rust off. So you just chip it away. And I mean, some of it will be the material from this, but most probably what all this is the brake wear. To be honest with you, is all the bits of metal coming off as the brakes are on. Basically, I reckon that's what all the build up and most of it is. I just clean it all up. I really hate seeing people taking a file to a brake pad. I just really hate it. I'd rather just clean it up right and make sure they fit. So that's what I do with this deburring tool. I always clean them with a deburring tool, and then you don't have any comebacks basically. Seize pads. And so get a good old clean up. then what you can do is the final pass with the file. Just like so. So it's nice and clean. You can actually see metal shine. You can see the shine for the metal, so it's good enough for me. And there's this wee channel here. And that's why I cleaned in there, because that shim locates in there as well. So now that it's clean, if there's any wee bits, I'll show you. See if there's anything else chips off. Nothing chips off there, you're good to go. So, pads can sit in there and move freely in that carrier, and we'll grease all these slides up as well. So we'll grease all them up. There's still some grease in there, but we'll put some more in. Doesn't need a lot. Again, be careful with these boots, don't damage them. You can see this one, water's been getting into it. So, but it's still working, so we'll put some grease in there. We'll clean all that rust that's in there out. The seal should seal again with some grease. You can still see there's still grease there, but we will give it a grease, and we'll give these a good clean up as well. Under here, just like that. Again, they're not filing them, just taking all the crap off them. So we're not filing them, we're just taking any crud off them basically, and then they just go back on like so. And then push back in, the pad sits on them. Make sure they clip into place so they don't move. Again, this. Can't see all the crud. Better. Certainly something you want to be working right anyway, in my opinion, your brakes. If they're not working right, then that's bad news, I'm afraid. So make sure that's pushed in. Held it lock in. So the only thing we need to do with that, grease it all up and build it now. And this is the one we were having the bother. So we have retapped the bolt, so we'll just need to see. Well, it looks okay, so just need to see how we get on. You can see it's running in there nice and free, just like the one, this one that was fine anyway. This top one here was fine, so we'll see how that runs. That runs nice and free. So again, that can go back in its box now. Same with the nut, so we know the end of it was damaged. So we can screw the die nut off, no bother. And it was just the end of it that was damaged, so we're hoping that the end of it up here is where it will take all its torque, and that bit no really matter, hopefully. So we'll get all that cleaned up now. Same again, just rinse and repeat on that side, guys. So that's a bad side, that's a good side. We've got some Loctite, so I'll put some Loctite on it and just spread that on the two bolts, because that's lots of Loctite. So we'll just mix that around the two of them, because we don't need as much as that. Only a wee bit, guys, there's only a wee bit on it to start with. So anything excess is too much, it's got to go somewhere, so we'll just well coat that in it. There's no problems with this side. But we'll put that in anyway. I had it, cleaned all the bolts, and it had Loctite in there to begin with. So we'll just do it as it was. Best practice. Put it back as you found it. So we've already ugga-duggered up like I said before, it's really noisy the ugga-dugger gun, so we've already ugga-duggered that up, so we're not going to bother ugga-dugging that up. And we're not going to be careful with the bolt on the other side. We have retapped it, hopefully it'll be okay. So that'll all tight in there. It was my big 60 and my big snap-on torque bar. Well, it's big ratchet really, but listen guys, if you're not sure, get the correct torque. I've been doing this for a long time, this job. So I consider myself a human torque wrench now. That's a big bar as well, look at the size of it. So I'm going to say it's tight enough. And it's got a little tape on it as well, guys. So, but if you weren't sure, so I can know now what this other side should be like. I've got a good reference point for this side. And again, we've got lots of leverage on there. So we know that side, we've did that. And that's taking the top. We'll get our Loctite, 243, lovely stuff. And we'll just rinse and repeat on this side, guys. And fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. So it was the top bolt. So that's the top one there that we've put in it. We know that one was giving us grip. So the bottom one was good. So the bottom one was okay. So we'll have some compare it to. Once we actually find it, what's happened to it? Was it rain? Oh, was it rain? Was it on? Is it rain? I know, it's in my pocket. Always. So, again, that was the top one. That was the one that had the issue. I'll set that there just now. Bottom one is perfect. I've retapped that one with the tap. And just need to see how much meat's left in there. So I'll get the Loctite. Got that Loctite on there. Oh, come out. Oh no, it's stuck. Just used it to. What else happened? There we go. Maybe that's it. Maybe I numped it. So you need to lock that back down, that Loctite bottle. Oh, a squitter. God's sake. So again, way too much, so I'll just spread it between these two bolts and a wee bit extra on that one, wouldn't hurt to be honest, but same with sump sealer, sometimes less is more. Some people go crazy with the sump sealer. So that was the one that was damaged, that was the top one. We'll set that there for now. So that's going to go back in the top one. And we're going to put the one that was no issues back in where it was. I'm not going to mess about. Try anything crazy. Damn you. Damn you. Why did I not foresee that? So that's that fixed. A little bit crap going on it. So now we want to be able to screw it in by hand. To be honest with you, which we can. Most of the way, right? Yeah, it's going all the way. Take me all the way. Bit of Toto. My mum's a good chanter. You see Diane Field's YouTube page. She's a good chanter, always been. My nana, my wee nana, McEwen School of Music, she's a good accordion player back in her day. So this was a good one, so I'm just going that in a little bit more behind. I won't be doing it with a big bar until I've topped this other one, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to use this bar because we've got a comparison to these two. They've taken that top with this bar and we got them off with this bar, so we're going to tighten this bottom one up first. There's no issues with. I'm happy with that. I'm going to get a wee bit extra tight with that one because I know there's an issue with this side, so I think this that is tight. Right, we'll go with that. I hope the Loctite do its job. But aye, it seems pretty tight for the last week. It seems pretty tight. I'll just. It's pretty tight. Right, so we just need all the up then. Get the nice apec pads in. So we've got these nice apec pads. Ha! Look at that, even come with new shims and they look perfect. So we'll use them. And we'll use them on new bolts as well, which we'll all use. And we'll all clean these slides up as well. So we'll take one out first just to test pilot, but they look pretty decent those. Oh aye, superb. Superb stuff. Super duper. Get that wee. Right, make sure that's on right. That's that. That's well on the disc. Right, that's good. New shims as well. That's pretty good. New shims in that, I see that. See those new shims. Two of them. We'll put the same on this side. So, see there's two shims. And that's the bad bolt. And what we'll do is we'll put a paint mark on it. That's what we'll do. We'll put a paint mark on it and we'll check it again. We'll that way the customer can keep an eye on it and we'll be able to visually see it. So we'll put these shims on this side now. So we cleaned all those up. I should have checked the box first. Typical man. Oh, should have had a look first. So we'll get these two new ones. Get those in, they fit nice. Nice new shim. And the metal's all nice and clean up there. So that's good, we've got a nice new shim. Don't often get them. Not even with apec sometimes. Not all of them. Get you new shims. That's good. I think that's all the way home. So I'll just give it a little, just to be sure. So that's that pretty much taken care of it. There's not much left to do. A bit of copper grease on these pads. That's how they should go in. All about grease. I'll prevent them from seasoning. This will eventually get washed away. But it's a good start in life. I always need a good start in life, so and we always put a bit of grease around the hub. So we need to do these slides actually. So we'll get them off as well, get them greased. Again, careful with the bits. There's not much rot in them, so we'll clean that one. Then the vise, I'll put the change well right here. Everything clean. Give that a good old clean. We'll get our apec brake cleaner bottle, clean it all down, give that a good old grease up, get them back in. Fit it back in, nice and greased up. That one, a wee bit of tightness in it. So, we can clean that again. Clean this hole out. That'll clean in there. Right, so you can see all the crud. So that's nice and clean. Put a bit of grease. Right. And then nice calipers. Make sure these little springy bits, guys, if I'm holding the pads in tight into that brake carrier, stop any brake rattles. So you'll get our new bolts as well. New bolts in it. And these have got Loctite on them. Let's see it. apec put the Loctite on them for us. So brand new 8B125 bolts going in there. And I will put a little paint mark on that bolt. And then that way the guy can keep an eye. You will be able to see into it, possibly. So you should be able to see into it. So we'll rinse and repeat on the other side. So pretty much same again. Just rinse and repeat. Same thing. Same thing. I've already put a big nut on. So I've put a big nut on it. And we'll get these pads in. Change those slides, those shims as well. So we'll want to be taking the and hopefully this side, because we cleaned it all, new shims. So yeah, that's how your brake pads should move. Nice and free. And out basically. No issues. No issues. This one, quite crusty, so I'm going to give that a blast on the bit end of the grinder there.